Good morning. It is 7:12 on January the 28th, Saturday. And I'm heading home. And I'm very disappointed. I went camping yesterday. And I have been trying to go camping for so long. And for so long, all the campsites were reserved, for the whole year. I just kept going month out, and it was just booked everywhere. And it'd been over almost 2 months since I checked. And a few days ago I checked, and I found a campsite, one at Brazos State Park. Ooh, that's a lot of water there. Ooh, don't hydroplane. And I snapped it up, and I was so excited that in the middle of the workday, I went and threw all my gear in my truck. I think that was Monday or Tuesday. As usual, I'm trying to film with no, stand, rack, mount, whatever. So, I went camping yesterday. I got off work at 3:30. I hauled tail to Magnolia, where the state park is, and I'd never been there before. It was absolutely beautiful, although I was very unnerved by the many, there's a Budweiser plant on I-10 East Houston. Although there was many signs about alligators and what to do and how far away to be, and if you're this far away you're too close, and if you're this close you're too close, and blah blah blah. It was very unnerving. But the worst of all was right when you enter the park, there's gorgeous trees, and all the trees are exactly like the ones at San Jacinto Monument Park. Just absolutely beautiful. But there was this big sign in it. It was very unnerving. The sign says, "Stay away from the trees. Enormous snakes." That was the exact word. Enormous snakes. I'm like, great. So I set up my camp, and I had barely 40 minutes to get it done before the sun went down. And I hauled tail, and I got everything situated. I got everything organized. And I had my space heater and my electric blankie that my brother gave me. And I settled in, and I was comfortable. Oh, it was so nice. Nice and snug. And I was watching videos, and then I heard rustle. I'm like, oh, great. A grown human is walking through the woods right behind my tent. And I looked out there with the flashlight, and the rustling stopped. I'm like, that's weird. So I turned the flashlight off, and the rustling started again. I'm like, great, an alligator's coming up to my tent. So I got fully dressed, went outside, got my gun, which my bestie will be so happy to know that I actually loaded it. Had my gun, had my flashlight, and I was aiming it right into the brush, right at literally the base of my tent. It was like 30 feet away. And I put the flashlight out there, and the rustling stopped. Turned the flashlight off, and it started again, but it was closer. I'm like, great. It's an alligator. And it wasn't like, when I pulled into the park, I passed literally 40 deer. I mean, they were everywhere. No fear, just comfortably strolling around. And this was not like something stepping through the woods. It was like something very low to the ground, just rush. So I was pretty proud of myself. Yeah, I started panicking, but I was like, this is it. I'm going to discharge my weapon. I'm going to save the day. I'm going to shoot an alligator. I'm going to protect myself from an alligator. I was prepared. I really felt like it was going to any second come out of the low grass at my feet. I really felt like it. And then I just really got overwhelmed. So I looked around, and across the way was an RV, and there was a mom and 2 kids. And I'm like, hey, can I talk to you for a second? She's like, what's up? And I'm like, hey, I don't want to SCARE anyone that's around you, you know? She's like, yeah. And I'm like, but there's something out there. I'm like, I'm not afraid to be by myself or anything like that, but I hear something really, really loud, and she's like, oh. And I'm like, it doesn't sound like a deer walking through. It's like something really low, and it's constant. It's just constant. And I'm like, you know, I have a PEW with me, but you know, I don't know I don't know if it's going to come closer or not. I'm not familiar with this. And she's like, hold on. And she knocked on the door, and she hollered for her husband to come out. And she said something to him, and he came running. I mean, he just sprinted across the little road to where I was. I said, hey, I'm Sarah. I'm sorry to bother you. I'm so embarrassed. You know, I'm not afraid or anything, but, you know, there's something there. And he had a high beam clipped to his hat. And he had something in his hand. He goes, okay, I just want you to know, I've got a really powerful flashlight, but when it comes on, it's attached to something in my hand, you know? And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm cool. Yeah, I've got one too. We're good. So for my friends that watch my videos that's not in Texas, that's typically how it's spoken around here, because you don't know who's around you and who is going to be offended that you've got something like that. To quote Mama Tot Ophelia on TikTok, when somebody asked her if she was afraid to be by herself, she said, honey, number one, I am a Southern woman, and take that for what it means. So everybody knew exactly what that meant. So anyway, this guy, wow, I was so impressed. Very tall, very slim leg, just walked right into the woods. Just didn't even slow down. Just barreled right into there, and he was painting left and right. And he goes, there, you see it? I'm like, no, what is it? Where is it? What is it? And then he said, him's a bunny. It was a rabbit. It was a white rabbit, and you know, you can see his red eyes. And I said, son of a mother, I am so embarrassed. I'm like, I am so sorry to bother you with that. And he said, don't worry, we're across the way if you need anything. And he took off and just left. He was gone, just like that. But that's not why I'm in my car heading home. That's not the reason. Matter of fact, about 1 a.m., I was awakened when I heard that same sound, only right at my tent. Right there at my tent. Got my flashlight out, pulled the zipper, peered out, and it was another bunny, but it was a gray one, and it was right there at my tent. So I went back to sleep, and when I heard it again later, I popped the tent and went, get, you know, and you could hear it scamper off. And then about 3:15, my toes got weirdly cold. I sat up, because you know, when you feel something like that, you're awake, you jerk up, you're like, wait, what's that? Yeah, my toes were wet. So it had started raining. It was just pitter-pattering rain. It wasn't a deluge or anything. It was just pitter-pattering. And there was a little bit of water collected along the edges of my tent. I'm like, what in the world is going on? Because me and Julie camped in the rain before, and it was very watertight. No issues. No problem whatsoever. And I was just absolutely shocked to see little rivulets of water coming from the roof, not from a seam. You know, I did my due diligence. I Googled the heck out of it. And everywhere it says if your tent's leaking, 100% it's the seams. The seams have failed. But no, it was coming right through the rain fly at the top where there are no seams. And, it wasn't gushing in or anything like that. But for the amount of water that it was, or rain, for a pitter-patter of rain, I'm like, we're expecting 90% rain Saturday night into Sunday morning. If I'm getting this much water with just a light rain, I'm going to float away with any more than this. So I laid in bed and I dwelled and dwelled and dwelled, and it got to be 4:30, and I dwelled, and then it got to be 5:30, and I'm just dwelling. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to get up and go to Academy and get me a new tent, but I'm not going to take this tent down. I'm just going to put the new rain fly over the old rain fly. That way I'll double up on rain fly, and I'll be nice and snug, and I'll be fine. And then I got the weather alert. Oops, sorry. I have the Weather Channel app, and it said 30 minutes till rain. And I'm like, great. Okay, so it's going to be more rain before the rain's expected tonight. I'm like, okay, do I pack up and go now? Or do I pack up and go while it's raining? I tell you what, I dwelled. I sat there and dwelled because if you know how much I enjoy camping and how much thought and planning, eagerly thinking it out, eagerly planning it out, how much I love it, that was very, very hard for me to pack up and go. So 5:30 a.m., very dark, I was throwing stuff into my truck. My truck is packed. It is packed. I've got everything in the back. I'm going to turn around and see if you can see it. I don't know what you can see. I bet my hand's in the way. I am so stupid. That was stupid. Anyway. Let's see if this will work. Everything is thrown into the back. And then the one container that's in the bed of the truck, I had to put a bungee cord around it. So it was very hard for me to do that. I'm very disappointed. Especially how hard I worked to find time to be able to do this. I don't know when I can do it again. I think by the time I'm able to do this again, it's going to be too hot. I will not camp when it's hot. Won't do it. Will not do it. So I'm very disappointed. I'm about 20 minutes from home. 30 minutes if I stop and get a honey butter chicken biscuit from Chick-fil-A. I did not mean I should have slowed down and let that truck over. But anyway, I'm coming across St. Jacinta River. If you look way out there, you'll see St. Jacinta Monument. My sister got me in the habit. It's because of you, Nancy. Every time I cross this bridge, I always look and give a minute honor to the battlefield and the St. Jacinta Monument. But I'm heading home, and I'm very sad about it. But I'm going to go home and eat my honey butter chicken biscuit and take a nap. And then get up and... excuse me. And then I'll get up and stow my camping gear away. Get my garage organized a bit, maybe. So, I've got a free Saturday now, and I'm thinking maybe I'll go to the movies later. I'll call up some besties here and there and see what's up. Maybe I can meet somebody for lunch or go to the movies or something. But, since I'm home now, I'm going to head out to the cemetery tomorrow and go pick up branches. We had our friend Carol went out there and checked on it because there was a tornado in the area this week, and some homes and businesses and schools were pretty much decimated from the tornado. And Carol went out and checked on the cemetery, and it did absolutely fine. She said there was a lot of branches on the ground. So I'm going to go out there tomorrow and clear up those branches. I can at least do that. I'll wear my wellies. I'll put my wellies on because as much as it's rained, no doubt. Oh, y'all see I got a new crack in my windshield? I tell you what, when I get a new windshield, I think it'll be the 4th or 5th for this truck. I tell you. Ooh, am I gonna miss? Where am I? I'm not paying attention. Nope, I'm good. I need to exit Garth. No, yeah, exit Garth to go to Chick-fil-A in Baytown. All right, I think I've talked enough. Goodness, I've been talking almost 16 minutes. I apologize for that. So I hope nobody gets vertigo or motion sick from me jostling the camera. Man, I need to. I've had a couple mounts before, and none of them just really worked. None of them worked as prompt. Anyway, there I go again, talking too much. All right, y'all have a wonderful weekend. Stay dry, stay safe, and I'm waiting to get out of the curve so I can let go of the steering wheel. And y'all have a wonderful weekend. Bye.